Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge. What a day in the Premier League title race, and it's not a day I wanted to see. Manchester City locking down 4 in a row. Is the Premier League going to become the French league? I mean, look, today, if there was no Man City in this league, we would have an amazing league. You know, Arsenal and then Liverpool dropping points, bottling it, whatever you want to say. The strength of the Premier League for Villa and Palace to go and win at those two places as underdogs is incredible. Unfortunately, we've got a team who won't slip up like that, and it means it will be 4 in a row for Manchester City, which I don't think is good for the league. You know, not even with the charges hanging over them, it's still not good for the league, even if they get off with it. It's just too dominant. But on the other hand, that's no excuse for Liverpool. It's no excuse for Arsenal. We would not have predicted both of these results today. And the label of bottle jobs does have to go to both clubs. I mean, I find it hard to comprehend, really. You look at Liverpool in recent weeks, they're just missing loads of chances. They've got the chances to win again today. They didn't. The same against United last week. It's happened a few times. And you look at Arsenal. I mean, look, Odegaard is on my screen at the moment clapping the fans. To be fair, he went off on 79 minutes. It's 0-0. And 10 minutes later, they've lost the game 2-0. But Villa was superb in the second half. But what I don't understand from Arsenal is, first half, they're the better team. They're creating the chances. They're pressing really well. They don't get the goal. It's half-time. It's 0-0. Second half, it's like they're a different team. Villa come out, who've played on Thursday night, and Villa hit the bar, and Villa are getting corners, and Villa are looking more likely to score, and then they do. And I'm looking at it, and I'm going, so in the first half, Arsenal's mentality is really good. All right, it's 0-0, but they're obviously knocking on the door, and they'll keep it going in the second half. They'll get the goal. They'll get the result. And then second half, they're completely out the game and they're completely outclassed by Aston Villa. And you're left asking the question, why? Did Arsenal's mentality just drop because the pressure's on? Did Emery outclass Arteta with different tactics in the second half that he couldn't respond to? I mean, as I said, Arsenal played Tuesday night. Villa played Thursday night. They've had 2 days extra rest and they're at home. There's no excuse for Arsenal. Absolutely none. And look, they were in a title race last year and they fell away at the end. But this year, this is the year where you deliver. You're leading from the front. And it happens. I've seen Man United in plenty of title races. I've seen rivals drop away. We've all seen it. But Arsenal, at the end of the day, in that second half, have imploded mentally. You look around and no one steps up. And is that inexperience? I don't know. But they didn't. Now, look, one thing I will say is, as soon as the team news came out, I said, oh, he's gone back to Havertz in the midfield. I've never liked it this season. It hasn't worked. For most of the last few weeks when Arsenal have been really good, Havertz has played as a false 9 and they've gone with a more balanced midfield. He goes back to that today and it falls apart. So maybe there's something in that. Look, I don't know what Arteta's long-term plans are with Havertz, but if it's in a midfield 3, I think Arsenal will struggle. I don't like it. I don't think it works, and I think it allows the opposition, when they sort themselves out, to dominate the midfield. And that's what happened in the second half. But they should be doing more. Like, Villa don't score until the 84th minute. That's 40 minutes into the second half, and it was coming for half an hour. So, you know, even when you can see it coming as a manager, he's got to see that and go, we've got to find a way of winning this game. I've got to change something up tactically, and he just couldn't respond to it. Now, are Arsenal just hitting that end of season, you know, I don't know what you call it. People will call it bottle jobs, but maybe this is where it's another step for Arsenal to learn next year. You know, they've been a lot better this season. They've been brilliant since Christmas, but these are the hard yards in April and May. And for Liverpool and Arsenal to both lose games you'd expect them to win, I don't think it's a coincidence. I think it's just a measure of what Man City have and they don't. Now, whether that's squad depth or manager, I don't know, but it's certainly mentality. The mentality to kick in and keep doing what you were doing in the first half. Like, there's no excuse for Arsenal to stop doing what they were doing so well in the first half. Playing the right pass, progressing up the pitch, put Villa under pressure. They never did that in the second half. And both clubs have only got themselves to blame. And their fans of both clubs will be absolutely devastated. Get your comments in below. Liverpool fans, Arsenal fans, what went wrong? Why has it gone wrong? Because the worst thing is, you know, you look at Liverpool this season, they should have had a penalty against Doku. Man City are ridiculously lucky. They should have had an onside goal against Spurs. Ridiculously unlucky. There has been dodgy moments this year that you can look at. But you can't really use that today because there's nothing dodgy about today. And that's what's going to hurt the most. The culprits are the players and the manager. And as fans, it's really hard to justify that. You want to find an excuse. And the only reason today is that just mentally they weren't up for it. Palace deserved their win. Aston Villa more than deserved their win. They defended so well in the first half, and in second half they were the better team. And you've got to look at Arsenal and say, you can't be league champions if you're going to lose a game like that. In those circumstances, you can't. Everything is in your favour. You need to respond from the Bayern Munich game. You've got 2 days extra rest. You're at home. The crowd's with you. You've got everybody pretty much fit. There's no excuse not to beat Villa. None at all. And they go and lose it 2-0. And the same with Liverpool. Look, they've had lots of chances against Palace. They shouldn't be losing that game. But you know what? As much as it's disappointing that Man City are going to win the league, you've also got to say, as I say, if we didn't have Man City in this league, we'd have an amazing league. And we talk about how amazing this league is, but it's in very big danger of becoming very boring very quickly because we've got one team, rightly or wrongly, who threw a load of money into the club, rightly or wrongly, and now they are basically above everybody else. Their revenue is big. They can spend big every year. They've already got the best squad, and it's just going to be more and more dominance. They could win the league for the next 6 years. Like, they are so far ahead of everybody else. But if you take them out of it, applaud Palace, applaud Villa. That's what we want in this league. We want to see competitiveness. We want to see shocks. But unfortunately, there's one team that it just doesn't happen to. And that's why they run away with it every year. I know that won't make Arsenal or Liverpool feel any better. But, you know, the reality is I can't believe they both lost today. I really can't. And I'm shocked. So I can only imagine what it feels like for both those clubs. And they've both got massive games now. Bayern Munich for Arsenal and then Atalanta for Liverpool. And if they don't win those games, it's going to be a very, you know, hard end to the season for them both because they're going to end up empty-handed at fighting for second. And that's not what they would have expected a couple of weeks ago, is it? Get your comments in below. Make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe. Unfortunately, it is the end, I believe, of Arsenal and Liverpool's title hopes. And it will be 4 in a row for Man City. I just can't see them dropping points, and I can see Liverpool and Arsenal dropping more. Get your comments in below. I'll speak to you all in a bit.